All right, let's do this. Welcome to another episode of the Marsh Bites podcast. And today, man, gonna hit you quick, man. I'm gonna prime your mind. And I'm gonna dive into a topic that's really close to me. It's the power of setting small yet achievable goals instead of looking at what's the most I gotta give. It's saying, what's the least I can do? Totally contrary, but stick around and I'll tell you how doing the least will create the most in your life. It's one of the greatest mind tricks there are. And I want to share it with you because it's brought phenomenal success to me. You know, a lot of times when it comes to think about when you've asked someone successful, like what is it, what's the linchpin activity that has created massive success for them? And, you know, a lot of times you kind of mask it as, that it's curiosity. But really deep down, man, you're probably searching for excuses. Because how many times have you heard someone that says, well, I get to work 2 hours before anybody else, or I read for 2 hours a day, or I'm able to write for 5 hours a day, or, all these kind of they wake up at 4 a.m. and you hear something like that and you relate it to your life as it is right now, as desperately as you want things to change in your life. You look at your life, you hear about their life, and you're like, I can't do that. Dude, I've done that so many times. I wasted so many years, decades, by hearing stuff like that saying, I can't do that. But here's the revelation for you. You don't have to do all that. Not right out of the gate. It's all in the approach. So let me break it down for you and make it real easy for you. First, this is key. Instead of asking, how much do I need to give? Start with the least. What's the least I can give right now? Dude, that psychological question right there. Everybody's looking for the most. Everybody's trying to cram everything in to a small window of freedom, of time. I can't do all that. But what a great mind trick this is when you just look at a situation and you want to change something in your life or something that you've been procrastinating and say, that commitment's pretty large, but what's the least I can give right now? See, we live in a culture, man, that just glorifies the hustle and the grind. But diving in and just flailing away, thinking that somehow things are going to work itself out, it's not going to happen. I'm firsthand witness. I'm on the front row of this one, man. That's what leads to burnout. It's going to do one or two things. Either it's going to lead to burnout because you can't sustain the commitment, okay, because you can't just alienate the whole world. So that's number one. So you'll burn out. Or number two, you never get started because it's just too overwhelming. So if you can't commit to something, say like an hour, what's the least I can give? 10 minutes? See, you got to adapt these manageable methods, small, bite size, tiny little methods. And I've found success in, dude, I hack my way every morning. I have 6 steps that I go through, 6 checkpoints. I call them mile markers. Wake up at a set time, work out, write, learn. And I pepper that throughout the day, share something of value, and then plan. I know what I'm going to wear today. I know what meals I'm going to eat. That's it. I do those simple things right there. 6 methods keep me on track. And I wake up at a set time. I don't know if I said that. So let me start over. Wake up at a set time, write, work out, learn, share, plan. Those 6 things. I only counted 5 just a minute ago. Something got skipped. But there's so this is the 6 easy checkpoints that I go through every single day. I do it, and that's what it's so simple. It's so simple. Life isn't always easy, man, but you can simplify it. And I just work the six. That's what I call it, the six. And I just work those, and I've won the day before I've even gotten to official work. So there are some days, man, I can't commit to that. So start or try. This is what I use, the early 30 method. The early 30 method is 30 minutes. I may not have enough time to complete a task, but I have all the time in the world to get started, right? So start with the early 30. You may want to call it the early 20 or the early 10. The fact of the matter is, or the point of the matter is, you get started, you beat procrastination, and you keep the momentum chain, keep the chains moving, man, and you keep the flow going. Another strategy that I use it every morning, man, is I do a 10-minute random reading. And what that is, I would love to sit down for hours and read a book. You hear about old Warren B. He sits down for whatever, 5 or 6 hours. And Bill Gates went on these 2-week long retreats and took a whole suitcase full of books and was alone and read. And you hear all these things, you're like, I can't do that, right? But you can do a 10-minute random reading, and I do that. There are other days that I have a lot of time to read. Most days I don't. So what I do is I prime my mind. Great primer for you. Just pull a random book off the shelf around your house. Been meaning to get around to it. Go to the table of contents, find a chapter that like hits your chest that morning, and read that one chapter. 10 minutes. Set your timer for 10 minutes. You just saw me hit my timer here because I time everything. And hit your timer for 10 minutes, and when it's over, put the book down, and then go apply it to your life as well. See, it's little things like this, man. They're gonna. This is this embracing of what's the least I can do kind of mindset. It's not about settling for less. It's about setting up for more. So you set these small, realistic, doable tasks that your mind you don't have any conflict with yourself, because that's what happens when you put in these big tasks. You immediately start negotiating with yourself, and you put all kinds of internal pressure on yourself. What's the least I can give? Just something super, super small, just to get that thing going. And it's a realistic way that you can maintain this consistency. That's what we're doing. See, you can't be great until you build your averages. You can't be great until you're average. You got to build your averages. And as you build the averages, the consistency, that's how you become great. It's the small chunks. Boom, 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 boom. That's what I do. 6 checkpoint. Did I get through with the 6 today? Yep. Boom. Win. Doesn't matter how the day ends. Matters that I hit the 6. That's what it's all about. You got to always remember this, man. Consistency before intensity. And many times we do it the other way around. We do intensity before consistency. Build your averages. Get consistent. What's the least I can give right now? What's the least I can do? The intensity is gonna rise up from there. So let me leave you with a few actionable steps, because I always like for you to just get off of this and not feel good. I want you to put something in place, man. Number one, reframe your mindset. I'm going to talk about this on a future episode. Reframing, the power of reframing. Super, super powerful. So reframe your mindset and break it down into something, a least I can give kind of method. What's the least I can do right now? Oh, man, I don't have an hour. All right. You got 5 minutes? You got 60 seconds? Do that. You don't want to fight. Dude, this works in any area. I'm not just talking about success. I'm talking about just even cleaning up. All right. Man, I want to clean the whole kitchen. All right. How much time are you willing to give? I got 5 minutes. All right. Set your timer for 5 minutes. You'd be amazed. What's going to happen is a couple of things. Number one, you get started. So you don't let all these things pile up, clothes, So you don't let these things pile up. But number two, a lot of times because you've gotten past that initial hurdle of resistance, then what you'll start doing is you say, I got another 5 minutes. And you just keep kicking out the extra 5 minutes. Just do 5 minute chunks at a time. Before you know it, man, you got 30 minutes, you got it all knocked out and probably got it done in 20. Dude, you're done. So that way, when you get off tonight, you're not having to do chores. You got it all done, man. So the next time, man, you feel overwhelmed about this journey to success, it's not you remember what Napoleon Hill said. And dude, I hang my hat on this all the time. Success will come to you without any hard labor and no sacrifice. And those there are going to be people who revolt against that, but I'm telling you, I'm seeing that all the time. And when I feel that overwhelm kicking in, no hard labor, no sacrifice, it becomes effortless. Initially, you'll wrestle with it. Initially, it'd be a big gorilla because you're breaking out of, your yesteryear, the way that you've always been. So you're breaking through that. It's kind of like a rocket coming back in the atmosphere. There's all that violence going through it, but then when it does, phew, you're in outer space of success. All right. So when you have these things, when you're looking at something, when you feel overwhelmed, when you feel frustrated, when it seems like it's not happening fast enough, just ask yourself, what's the least I can give right now? All right. As we always end, remember, keep it simple, keep it moving, never settle, stay tough, stay amazing. Peace.